Good morning, children. In today's class, we'll be learning the fourth chapter from the honeycomb text, The Ashes That Made the Tree Bloom, written by William Elliot Griffiths. Before moving to the lesson, a slight introduction of the author. William Elliot Griffiths, September 17 to 1843 to February 5, 1928, was an American Orientalist, Congregational minister, lecturer, and a prolific author. He has done in honors Order of the Rising Sun, Gold Race with Neck Ribbon 1926, and Gold Race with a Rosette 1907. His important writings are Welsh Fairy Tales, Japanese Fairy World Stories from the Wonders of the Japan, History of Japan from 660 BC to 1872 AD, Dutch Fairy Tales for Young Folks. Now, what the story about? The ashes that made the trees bloom. So, this is the Japanese story. It is about a honest and hardworking couple who live with their pet dog Muko. The story also sides with themes of kindness, mythology, magical realism, fantasy, and society. So, all these elements we see in this story. Now, what do you mean by kindness? Kindness means there is a old couple, they are very kind to animals, and a mythology in the sense it's nothing but the remembrance, the culture, the what do you say? The religious rites, what and all they come in this mythology, and the faith in the god, and magical realism, somewhat magical, and fantasy, and the society is nothing but in the people, the different set of people which come across in the society. So all these elements we find in this story. So let us read the lesson. This is a story about an honest and hardworking old couple and their pet dog. The neighbors are troublesome, and the dog dies a sad death. The spirit of the dog gives solace and support to his master in unexpected ways. Now, what do you mean by the neighbors? See here, this is a story about honest, hardworking old couple and their pet dog. This is a story about this three. These are the three main characters in the story. And the neighbors are troublesome. Troublesome, they are very, they give lot of trouble. And the dog dies a sad death. How the dog dies a sad death? When we read the story, during the course of the story, we'll see that. And the spirit, after his death, his spirit gives solace. Now, what do you mean by solace? Comfort or consolation in a time of great distress or sadness. So whenever the people they suffer from sadness, those people who console them, who comfort them by taking them out from the sadness in the distress condition, so that is nothing but solace. And the support, and what support he give his master in the unexpected ways. Now, what do you mean by unexpected? Without any unexpected, no expectation. Okay, that is nothing but unexpected. In the good old days of the demos they have given here is the 19th century wealthy landowners. There lived an old couple whose only pet was a little dog. Having no children, they loved it as though were a baby. The old dame made it a cushion of blue crepe, and at mealtime, Mukho, for that was its name, would sit on it as snug as any cat. The kind people fed the pet with tidbits of fish from their own chopsticks and all the boiled rice it wanted. Thus treated, the dumb creature loved its protectors like a being with a soul. Now, in this first paragraph, in the good old days of Demos is nothing but 90, as I told you, 19th century wealthy landowners. They were called as demos, and there was an old couple. There lived an old couple with a pet, and that pet was a dog. What is his name? The dog name is Muko. And the old dame. Dame is nothing but an elderly or mature woman, especially referred to the mistress of the household. Especially referred to the mistress of the household. What she made? She made a cushion of blue crepe. For whom? For Muko. And and Muko would sit in a very snug in the sense what? A very comfortable position. Okay, that is like a cat. As any other cat, how they sit, how the cat sit, the same way Muko used to sit in that cushion of blue crepe. And the kind people, now kind people, the old couple, they were very kind. They fed the pet with tidbits of fish. Tidbits in the sense what? In a small amount, with a little bit of small amount of delicious food. So within the bits of the fish, they used to feed, and that too they used to feed from their own chopsticks. And all the boiled rice it wanted. So whatever the dog required, everything they used to give. And they treated that dumb creature. Now, what do you mean by dumb? The dumb in the sense with when a person can't speak. So dogs never speak, is it not? So the dumb creature loved its protectors like a being with a soul. So even the dog also used to show a great kind of affection to the old couple, as if he's being treated like a child. Now, like a being with a soul is nothing but the old couple used to treat the dog in the same way how they used to treat their child. Okay, so this is the first paragraph. Now, moving to the next paragraph, the old man, being a rice farmer, went daily with hoe or spade into the fields, working hard from morning until Otento Sama, as the sun is called, had gone down behind the hills. Every day the dog followed him to work. So here the old man, what was his profession? He was a rice farmer. Okay, he went daily with a hoe. Hoe is nothing but usually it's a tool mainly used for weeding. Weeding means taking out the weeds from the fields. Or spade. Spade is again a tool with a sharp edge, typically rectangular metal blade and a long handle used for digging the earth. So either one of the tool he used to carry to the field, and he used to work right from the morning, working hard from the morning until Otento Sama. This is a name given to the, it's a Japanese language, it's a name given to the sun. Okay, until had gone down behind the hills. So the throughout the day, from the morning till the evening, the old man used to work in the field. And also the dog also used to follow him to his workplace, never once harming the white heron that walked in the footsteps of the old man to pick up the worms, for the old fellow was patient and kind to everything that had life, and often turned up a sword on purpose to give food to the birds. So here, the old man, the dog also, the old man also used to never harm the white heron. Heron we see usually on besides the lake. These are the it's a bird with a long beak. Usually catch the fishes. Okay, in the river beds or in the lake or a pond. So these are the herons that walk up, and especially they pick up the worms. And for the old fellow, how was the old fellow by nature? He was very patient, he was very tolerant, and he was very kind to everything that had life. Means what? Everything that had life, in the sense all the living organisms in the nature. He was very kind to all the beings in the nature, all the creatures in the nature, and often turned up a sword on purpose to give food to the birds. And also he offered food to the, he used to turn up in here is nothing but he used to dig up on the pretext of digging. He used to give food to the birds. Moving to the next paragraph. One day the dog came running to him, putting his paws against his legs and motioning with his head to some spot behind. The old man at first thought his pet was only playing and did not mind it, but the dog kept on whining and running to and fro for some minutes. Then the old man followed the dog a few yards to a place where the animal began a lively scratching. Thinking it was possibly a buried bone or a bit of fish, the old man struck his hoe in the earth when, lo, a pile of gold gleamed before him. So, here, one day, what happened? The dog came running to the old man. The dog approached him, and he used to block his way, putting his paws against his legs. And he motioning here. What do you mean by motioning? Motioning is he used to direct or command with a movement of the hand or head. So the motioning is giving a command to with a movement of hand or head to some spot in the sense to the place which he tried to direct the old man, and he wanted to take the old man into that particular place. But the old man, at first, he thought his pet was only kidding, he was playing, and he did not mind it. But the dog kept on whining. Whining here is nothing but the making of a long, high pitched cry or sound. Okay, he kept on whining and running to and fro for some minutes. He was running here and there. Then the old man followed the dog a few yards to a place where the animal began a lively scratching. So the dog, he started digging. He used to scratch the earth. Okay, and thinking that it was so, what he thought at once, the old man thought that probably he might have seen a buried bone or a bit of fish. So the old man helped the dog and he struck his hoe in the earth. Suddenly, what he did is see, oh, lo, a pile of gold gleamed before him. A pile of gold, in the sense it was which was buried inside the beneath the earth's surface. So a pile of gold, or what do you say, pile layer of gold. Okay, gleamed is nothing but glittered before him. Thus, in an hour, the old couple were made rich. The good souls bought a piece of land, made a feast for their friends, and gave plentifully to their poor neighbors. As for the dog, they petted him till they nearly smothered him with kindness. So, within an hour, see, suddenly he spotted a pile of gold gleaming before him. Within an hour, the old couple became very rich. So, the good souls. Now, what do you mean by good souls? The good souls here refer to the old couple. Okay, they were very kind and generous. Okay, so good souls refer to here to the old couple who bought a piece of land, made a feast and for their friends and gave plentifully to their poor neighbors. See, not only enjoyed or they experienced themselves whatever the gold they have got, they also shared their wealth and by in the form of feast to the by giving a feast to their friends and give plentifully to their poor neighbors also. So as for the dog, they petted him till they nearly smothered him. Smothering is nothing but taking too much care. They petted the dog to such an extent that they took too much care about the dog with kindness. So children, today we'll stop here only, and the next part we will continue in the next class. I hope you understand this part, and all the best for your exams. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.